In today's video, we are going to explore finding a very important muscle, the internal oblique, for our pelvic floor and core. All you need is a light weight, maybe 5, 8 pounds, even 3 pounds would do. Now, before we get into it, I want to explain the importance of the internal obliques. Now, the internal obliques run from the pelvis on up to the rib cage. And the internal obliques help the rib cage to come down. Now, we have internal and external obliques. Many women with pelvic floor issues have over-dominant external obliques that when they exhale are so excessive and strong that they start to bring the rib cage down and crunch. So I want you to think that we're like squeezing, and if you're a tube of toothpaste, those external obliques squeeze and push pressure down from the top down onto the abs and down onto the pelvic floor. Now, the internal obliques are what we've been exploring in our stack. Those are the muscles of hamstrings and abs that we need to find those who are more external oblique dominant. Remember, those internal obliques help with the system of that pelvis being pulled, hamstrings and abs, but they're hard to find. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on 3 different movements that I love and really have helped me hone in even deeper on my internal obliques as well. So for this first one, we're going to lay on our backs, and this is where you need your first light weight. Now, we've explored previously how we can drag through our heels to get our hamstrings on for our pelvic position. So I want you to set up first in this hook lying position, and then we're going to float the left leg. So you can drag through the right leg to help keep your pelvis position on. We're gonna inhale, exhale all the air out. Now, because we've practiced on how do we breathe without letting the ribs rotate up, we're going to inhale, 360, so lateral into the back, and then we're just going to exhale as we draw in even more, rotate the weight over. Now, as I rotate the weight over, I don't want to lose my low back. So it's okay if this side of our back, the right side, rotates, but you want to keep the left low back in contact. So it's not a huge rotation, you're not all the way here. We're talking a micro rotation. And if you lose that, can you find that connection deeper through the internal obliques? Now you're gonna pause here, take an inhale, you're gonna breathe into the lateral and back ribs, and then you're gonna exhale as you come back to midline again. So if you're somebody who tends to fall into that anterior position, this should very much so challenge you in a very small movement to keep those IOs on. So if you rotate, and your pelvis moves and your low back moves off of the ground, you need to draw those back in. Because what happens is a lot of times we focus so much on keeping the upper ribs in contact that we lose the lower part. So let's do another one. We're gonna rotate, inhale, exhale, come back. Keeping ab tension, my next inhale goes lateral into the back. I can drag through my right heel, find my hamstring, exhale. Don't lose that connection of the lower back on the left side. Inhale, exhale, come back. So that's a hook lying internal oblique movement. You can try that on both sides. You might find very much so that one side is easier than another. And that would be because we have a common asymmetry on the left side that turns us to the right. So it might be easier for you to maintain that on the right. And again, that can be very eye-opening in our bodies to understand and feel and know that we need to be a little more conscious of it when we do that in other movements. Now, the other one I love, do not need to have a weight for this, is on hands and knees. And it's like a bird dog variation. So in this bird dog variation, we are going to, I'm just thinking about which hand I want to show you. I think I want to use right. So we are doing the right hand grounded, right leg extended. Left arm's going to come out to the side. So I don't want to rotate with it. So what I need to do is I need to press away. I've got my shoulder blade hugging, but I'm not overly rounded in this position. My sternum is long. So exhale. My next inhale is going to go lateral and into the back. I'm going to exhale as I draw my knee in and reach underneath. Now, as I do that, I'm not rotating my body. So I want you to think about staying square while the arm reaches. I can breathe into my back body, but I'm still pushing away as my knee draws in. And then I exhale, slide on out, staying square. Inhale here. Exhale, reach, draw in. Push away, inhale. Exhale. You should feel a lot of lower abs kicking on. So this is the same place we were just targeting, just changing the position. So right here, this lower triangle, internal obliques, while we're trying to not overly crunch with our external obliques. If you can't feel it, make sure that you've pressed away. We've got our stack starting the position first. And then as you reach through, make sure you're not rotating. Stay square, keep pushing away, and we do come into a rounded position here. And then out. Okay, so those are two of my favorites. Before we go on, I want to talk about why it's important to really hone in on these muscles, or why you might struggle to find them. So if we think about if we were going to chop from right to left, I'm going to find my left internal obliques. But if you've done chopping movements and you don't feel them, imagine how our stack plays a role here. So if I chop, but I chop and my rib cage thrusts forward, what I do is I shut off the ability to find my internal obliques as much. I allow my external obliques to fire more, and I turn more of my posterior chain on. So this is why we want to keep our stack and learn to find these muscles. Now, the last one I want to show you is a standing position where you come into a split squat, and it's a very little movement where we keep our weight racked just like this. And I want you to imagine that you're turning and you're going to reach your elbow toward that right, or toward the opposite knee. But in this position, what I want you to think about is that we're not going to let the rib cage come forward. So we start from this position here. We found our stack, and then we rotate as if we were going to drive. Now, when this happens, we can rotate at the rib cage in this plane where the ribs come forward and back without thrusting forward. So rotate, pause. So same side rotation for internal obliques. Notice the side we rotate to is the one that we're isolating. So can you stay stacked, rotate with the ribs coming back in that plane of movement? Just like if we were rotating on the ground, we didn't let our back come off the ground. So can you keep the stack and find that connection to those internal obliques? So those are three of my favorite exercises. Start with the most basic and then progress from there. If you were doing them for reps, you can do anywhere from 10 to 12, 2 to 3 sets, progressing in load, reps, and your breath. And the true value really comes in being able to find those muscles when we are working on higher level movements. So we want to get back to higher level standing, rotations and chops and ball tosses and rotational split squats and jump lunges. We want our internal obliques to work and fire. We want to refine our position so that when we go to do those dynamic movements, the core is coming along with us in our stacked position.